time. Since leaving AEW in February of 2022, Cody Rhodes sort of explained why he left the promotion he helped found, along with Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, outside there in Jacksonville, the EVPs, right? Hangman Adam Page. We all remember that moment. January 1st, 2019, when AEW was born. We know Cody Rhodes was looking to do something different. We know that Cody had obviously outbuilt AEW to the point where they got a TV deal with TNT after doing their first pay-per-view in May of that year, Double or Nothing. We remember the match with him and Dustin Rhodes where he took the throne, smashed it, took a shot at WWE with the throne smashing of Triple H, saying, "This is my company, this is revolutionary, this is something new the fans have never seen before, and this will be the first time since WCW back in the day in 2001. WWE had legitimate competition on a legitimate big cable network, and this was at the time when they were doing Seth Rollins versus The Fiend, Hell in a Cell, 2019. We all know the controversy around it, and so AEW was really hot. And Cody sort of booked himself in a corner where his first feud was with Chris Jericho, and if he lost, he could never challenge for the AEW World title ever again. He obviously lost that feud. And Cody was sort of the babyface of AEW, and then fans were wanting to turn heel, and he never turned heel. And then shockingly, he left in February of 2022, made his return to WWE with the American Nightmare, the Kingdom theme song, completely different. It was the AEW presentation of Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 38. It felt like a big deal. It felt like WWE was ready to strap a rocket on the back of Cody Rhodes. If you remember the documentary they did on Peacock about Cody Rhodes near, I believe, WrestleMania 40, it was about, hey, this guy, we never seen him as a top guy before, but he went out, he did his own thing. We all remember All In September 2018 with him and the Young Bucks, which led to the creation of All Elite Wrestling. Now Cody looks like a top guy. Let's bring him back into the fold. Let's make him the top babyface in WWE at WrestleMania 40 against the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. A moment that we never thought would have happened in 2024 when Cody formed AEW 5 years later. Well, as I said, Bill Simmons and Cody Rhodes sat down on Bill Simmons' podcast, and Cody sort of said, "Hey, listen, he formed this thing with his friends, right? He's still very good friends with Matt and Nick Jackson, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, the EVPs. Those are his boys for life." But he said it was his company and he felt like that he was going to be a co-owner of that company. And when priorities start to change and when you and his wife Brandy, which I felt was very interesting to say, felt disrespected by quote unquote the higher ups, Cody said, "I knew this wasn't for me anymore and it was time to leave." And listen, I'm in a situation where I completely understand that. I've been in situations before where you love your work, you don't necessarily love your boss or your company. You are torn. You don't want to leave, but you feel like you have to leave to prove that you are worth something because people don't see the value in true hard work. So I totally get where Cody Rhodes is coming from. I know it pained him to leave AEW. I actually think one day Cody Rhodes could return to AEW because I do think AEW has always had, pun intended, adrenaline in his soul. But with that being said, I think Tony Khan has gotten too power hungry, and we talked about this with AEW. The moment AEW brought in CM Punk was the moment that actually AEW went downhill. You remember CM Punk came in, it was one of the biggest moments in the history of the United Center since the Bulls won the 1998 NBA Finals. That huge night on Rampage, the first ever Rampage, that Friday to get CM Punk. And then they get Bryan Danielson the next weekend. And then they get Adam Cole the next weekend. And WWE is still run under Vince. And AEW is popping off on all cylinders. And then Cody Rhodes leaves. And everything has changed because Cody Rhodes became a top guy in WWE. And 6 months later, not only is Vince McMahon removed from power, but the Brawl Out incident happened, which I doubt would happen if Cody Rhodes was still an EVP in AEW, and the rest is history. Basically, WWE has been on a roll ever since. And some people want to say that AEW is back gaining momentum 3 years later. I don't buy that personally. But for Cody Rhodes, think about this. For him to give up a promotion that he created, for the man to say, "Oh, I'll never go back to WWE," especially the way they treated me once my father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, passed away, turned into Stardust. I need to bury that character forever. I hated that character. We all know the story behind it. For Cody to give up his spot as an executive vice president, as a leader of AEW, to basically be a co-owner of the company, to come back to WWE. And I remember saying on the air at the time, is he going to be a coach of the PC? Is he going to be an EVP in WWE? Because for him to return to WWE, I never bought the rumors without some part behind it that he's going to be a part-time wrestler, part-time coach, or whatever, producer, because it wouldn't make any sense. And turned out that's exactly what Cody Rhodes is. And power fuels everyone, right? Power feels good. But when you don't have that power anymore and you want it back, it can sometimes lead to resentment. And maybe Tony Khan felt like Cody Rhodes was having too much say in AEW and this is my company and yada, yada, yada. And that's what happened. And I think Cody likes Tony Khan. I think he wants a little respect for Tony Khan in that negotiation, but I still think he loves and supports AEW. I want to make this clear. This is not an AEW bashing. What this is me simply telling you that I do believe there was a reason Cody Rhodes left AEW. It was because of Tony Khan. Tony Khan wanted too much power. Cody Rhodes did not agree with that decision. And Cody felt like he was never going to be bigger than AEW than he was. He felt like he was losing momentum. The fans were turning on him, and he did not want to turn heel, as evident by him winning the Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam against John Cena without turning heel. Then he goes back home to WWE, and it is home because that's where his father put his roots down. We know about the history of Dusty Rhodes and Triple H working together in NXT, and the timing just worked out absolutely perfect. So, do I think Cody has feelings surpassed? Yes. I think now he finally feels comfortable talking about what happened with AEW. I don't think he's happy about it. Do I see Cody potentially returning there one day? I do. But it was very clear to me that Tony Khan is now power hungry and AEW has not been the same since Cody Rhodes left. Yes, the issue started with Brawl Out, but it really started the minute Cody Rhodes walked out that door. He was the glue holding AEW together.